Arizona, I had the whole apartment. So we had it all over the house, like in the living room, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in both rooms that, we had a two-bedroom. We even had it in the laundromat, literally. We had it all over the house because we understood that we had to saturate our minds with the images of the things that we wanted. So we had cars, Rolls Royces pasted on the wall. We had the next level in our business that we wanted to get to pasted in our rooms. We had, the houses, we had the places we wanted to travel to. We had affirmations all over. We had little sticky notes that we had pasted on the kitchen all over. I am abundant. I am successful. I am earning $10,000 a month. I am earning $25,000 a month. I am the owner of a brand new 2021 Rolls Royce. We had all of these images, all of these words all over the house. And we saturated our mind with these images and these words because we understood that whatever we were going to see in our mind consistently is what was going to be brought to our physical reality in the next coming months. And guys, I promise you this, all right? And I want you guys to really listen to what I'm about to tell you guys. When I was living in Arizona, I was living in a very nice two-bedroom condo in Arizona. Very nice. Very grateful for it. Okay. And that was at the beginning of the year from, about January to like about March is when I really was there. I was really there before that, but that's when I was like really there. I really officially went out there. And, I was finishing up the lease there. And for those 3 months that I was there, we literally saturated our minds with nothing but, positive images of where we're going. And to think about it, I had an image of a penthouse in Miami on the beach, and now I'm living in it. And I would see it every day, and I would celebrate it every single day. Okay. I had an image of me earning $30,000 a month. Guess what? Now I'm earning that and more. I had images of having my own brand. Guess what? I have my own brand now. I have my own clothing. A lot of the images that I had pasted on my wall in that apartment in Arizona have already been brought to life and have already been brought to my reality. So what I want you all to understand is that I want you guys to take this serious. And after you guys finish listening to this podcast, don't just listen to it, okay? Don't just listen to it, but make sure that every single one of you guys actually go and apply this information, right? We talked about number one, the words that you speak and you hear, okay? Change the way that you're speaking and change the way and change the things that you're listening to, all right? But then number two, we're talking about the images now. If I were to walk into your room a week from now, am I going to see your goals pasted on your wall? Are you going to have a vision board? I want to be able to walk into your room and I'm like, okay, this person wants this car. They want to travel to this place. They want to live in this house. Okay, they want to do this for their family. They want to build schools over here. I want to be able to see your future in your room. I want to be able to see your future in your room because that's what's going to tell me where you're headed. Because now I know what you're seeing every day. And I know that it's only a matter of time before what you put into your mind shows up in the physical universe. And that's what I want you all to understand. Everything that I have today is because I consistently spoke about it. I consistently heard it, but I also consistently saw it every day with my eyes because of the images that I was seeing every day. Guys, it's part of my lock screen on my phone and my laptop. I do something called dream building every week. What's dream building? Sometimes I just go on YouTube for an hour and I just look at mansions, penthouses, my dream cars, um, countries I want to travel to, 5-star resorts, the best of the best stuff, like just dream building, seeing myself there. Wow, this is the lifestyle I'm gonna live. I'm so grateful. This is so dope. This is so cool. Yes, yes, yes. Give me more, give me more. I deserve this. I deserve this. Yes, yes, yes. Why? Because everything that you put on your mind, you can hold in your hands, guys. Very, very important. So that's the second thing that your belief system is made of, which is the images that you look at every day. And then the last and final thing that your belief system is made up of is the emotions created by the environment you put yourself in. All right. Number three is the emotions created by the environment you put yourself in. Remember, guys, you are not a product of your environment. Your environment is a product of you. You are not a product of your environment. Your environment is a product of you. So the environment that you've created for yourself is the one that you have to get yourself out of now. Okay? Because you see, that environment that you guys are currently in, all right, might not be the one that you want. And it might not be the one that's going to help you get to where you want to go. Now, if you're listening to this and you have a great environment, great, improve it. What are ways that we can improve that environment and make it more powerful? Or how can you put yourself in better environments where you can start elevating? Because there's always new levels to certain things. But for some of us, for example, I grew up in, Washington Heights, New York City. Okay, I'm from a place where if you walk outside, there's drugs being sold on every corner. There's homeless people sleeping on the street. Okay, there's a bunch of people who are negative and just bad attitudes, and those are not environments that you want to be a part of. Everybody loves to drink, they love to smoke, they like to chill, and nothing wrong with that, because I was once one of those individuals. Okay, but I understood that in order for me to change my situation, I had to change my environment. Okay, and the way that I changed my environment was I changed my environment in my mind. All right, I understood that I couldn't accept certain things anymore that I would once accept. I couldn't accept the fact that I lived in a 3-bedroom apartment in New York City. So every day that I would go home, instead of me going up to the 6th floor to my 3-bedroom apartment, I was actually going into my penthouse. I would look at it as I was going into my penthouse. I created a new environment in my mind for the things that I was living in. Okay, I surrounded myself in a more positive group of people. Okay, I wasn't hanging out with my negative friends as much anymore. Still had love for them, still appreciate them for everything. Okay, but I had to start hanging out with people that were gonna help me grow. I wanted to be the brokest person in the room, and I wanted to be the dumbest person in the room. I put myself in environments that made me uncomfortable. I put myself in growth environments, not in fixed environments. And that's something that happens a lot here is you got to put yourself in environments where you are growing. You see, because in fixed environment, you're filled with people that limit themselves, that don't believe in themselves, that doubt themselves. And you become an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay. Take a look at right now, as I'm talking to you guys right now, just take a quick 5 seconds. Who are the 5 people that you talk to most? Think about it. Is it your mom? Is it your dad? Is it your siblings? Is it your girlfriend, your boyfriend, husband, wife? Is it your business partner? Who do you talk to most? Who are the top 5 people that you talk to the most? Now, your income is a direct reflection of the 5 people you talk to on a day-to-day basis. My mentor always told me, he said, Nano, show me your friends and I will show you your future. So you want to put yourself in environments where you're forced to grow because everybody around you is growing. You want to put yourself in environments where every person around you is smarter than you because now you have so much more to learn. Put yourself in environments where you're the brokest person in the room. Still to this day, with all the money I have and all I've been able to accomplish, I still go into rooms where I'm literally the brokest person in the room. And I have, something for myself. Not nothing crazy, because I know friends of mine that are making what I make in a month, they're making that in a day. But that's what I want. I want to be able to learn from those individuals that are making what I make in a month, they're making that in a day. These are the people I want to surround myself with. These are the environments that I want to put myself in, the environments that empower me, the environments that help me grow, the environments that are making me step out of my comfort zone every day. I'm not going to environments where people doubt me, talk negative, don't believe in themselves, are not doing what's required of them to get themselves to the next level. No, I'm putting myself in environments that are changing my situation every single day. And what I want you to know is that that belief that you have right now, you have to replace it. And you have to replace it, okay, from a limiting belief to an empowering belief. Because remember, your brain doesn't know what's real or what's fake. So if you put a empowering belief.
All right, guys, let's get today's call started. I am very, very excited for this call. There we are. Grand rising, and happy, happy Monday. My name is Nano. I am your host on today's call, and welcome to Mornings with Nano YouTube and Instagram edition. I'm so excited to be here. It's a Monday. It's been a good day, a good morning so far. Honestly, one of my favorite mornings thus far. It feels good to be able to tap in with myself, work on myself, and then jump on this call and pour into other people. Real quick, if you've done your morning routine thus far, put a 222 in the chat. If you've done your morning routine today, let me know if you guys are in, if you guys have done what's required to pour back into yourself. I was up early this morning, 5 a.m. in the morning. And I looked up and it was 9:30 a.m. And I'm like, man, I've been working on myself from 5:30 to 9:30, and it was just such a beautiful 4 hours that I spent working on myself. And it felt so good. It felt so good to be the first one up. It felt so good to spend all that time on me intentionally, right? With no rush. Everything I did was done with a lot of intention, from my prayer this morning to my workout to the sauna session to the things that I ate to energize my body, the reading session I had, my visualization. My journal session was great. The audio I was listening to throughout the morning as well was phenomenal. Even the walking of my dogs and the cuddle sessions, everything, it just felt so good to spend 4 hours working and pouring into myself. I don't think you guys understand how good that feels, because you hear about people that do 30 minutes, you hear about people that do an hour, right? But to spend 4 hours, right? 4 hours pouring in to you, and being so intentional, where everything that you do for those 4 hours is for you. Everything I did, from the things that I ate to the things that I listened to the actions that I took, to the thoughts, the things that I was saying to myself, the self-talk, the gratitude, the prayer, the Bible study. I started reading Joshua as well. So like, I've been very, very intentional with myself, and it feels phenomenal. And I highly recommend you guys to start doing the same. Now, I'm not saying that you got to spend 4 hours working on you. That's not what I'm saying. I do that because obviously I love my mornings. I don't do any business until after 10 a.m., 11 a.m. anyway. So my mornings are dedicated to me. So the earlier I wake up, the more time I get to spend on myself. So, before I would spend only an hour, 2 hours, but it was because I was waking up at 7, 8 a.m. But now that I'm waking up at 5 a.m., I'm able to spend so much more time on myself. I'm able to read more. I'm able to, listen to more audios. I'm able to spend more time journaling. I'm able to visualize for longer. I'm able to stay in the gym and work out for longer, build my muscles, get a great sauna session in as well right after. That really helps me basically sweat out all the toxins and metals and anything that's not serving me. And it just feels amazing, guys. I want to let you guys know there's no better feeling than when you take the time to work on yourself, right? Because they say that self-love is the best type of love. And if you're taking time every day to work on yourself, then that's the true version of love. That is self-love right there, because you love yourself enough to make yourself a priority every single morning. And that's what life is all about. So put some hearts in the chat box if you guys are feeling the love this morning, and if you also have made yourself a priority, all right, to make sure that you love yourself enough to pour into yourself every single morning. So put some hearts in the chat so we can get this call started. Let me put the title of this: From Next Step to dream goal. This is going to be a great training right here. So I hope you guys are ready to take some notes. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So, as you guys know, I like to be very intentional with my trainings on Monday morning. I know that Monday morning is the beginning of the week, so I want to be very intentional with the trainings and the things that I teach on this day. And I want to make sure I teach you guys this. So today's training, I titled it From Next Step to Dream Goal. From next step to dream goal. And this is the mastering of the 4 levels of goal setting. This is the mastering of the goals of the 4 levels of goal setting. Now, when I learned this, everything changed for me. This was very key for me because once I understood the importance of goals, everything shifted for me. And what I want to help you guys do is I want to help you guys clarify your goals. I want to help you guys understand the different types and help you create a pathway that moves you closer to your goal and eventually lead you to your dream life, right? Because that's the goal here in life. So here's the thing. Most people, they fail at goals because they don't dream big enough. All right. Most people fail because they don't dream big enough. But also they fail because they don't have a clear game plan on what they got to do on a day-to-day basis to get there. The truth is, goals are not all created equal. They're broken down into stages. And as long as you can connect the dots from now till your dream goal, you'll be able to get there. But that's broken down in goals. So there's 4 goals that you guys got to keep in mind in order for you guys to get to your dream goal. And that's what I'm going to break down for you guys. The 4 goals that help you accomplish your dream goal. Let's talk about this. Goal number 1 is called your next logical step. Your next logical step. What does this mean? This means that this is the very next achievable action that moves you towards your goal. The next logical step is the very next achievable action that moves you forward based on where you are right now. All right. So if you were to think about it, what could be the next logical step that you could take today? Because we all have a big goal and we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about the bigger goals, but we got to think about it. What is the next logical step I can take to get there? What can I do today to be able to accomplish that? So let me give you guys an example. Okay, right? We have a dream goal. Let's say the dream goal is to make, for example, I'll give you guys an example. I have a dream goal of mine to get to $100,000 a month in residual income. That's a dream goal of mine, where I can get to $100,000 a month in residual income coming in. That's the dream goal. All right. Now, it's broken down very specific because then you're like, okay, Nano, well, what do we need to do next in order for us to get there? So in order for us to help us break this down, we gotta basically identify the dream goal, and then we have to start connecting the dots going backwards, right? Because remember, we can't connect the dots going forward. We can only connect them going backwards. So as a matter of fact, I'm gonna start with the dream goal instead of the next logical step. So let's talk about the dream goal first. Forget what I said about the next logical step for a sec. Let's talk about the dream goal first, because I think it's important that we talk about the dream goal. Now, the dream goal is the ultimate long-term vision. That's one of my long-term visions. I know that once I get to that level, I know there's going to be another one. But as of right now, I want you to think about what your ultimate long-term vision is. The someday life that you picture when you think of, success, freedom, fulfillment. All right. And when I think about that, I think of myself earning over $100,000 a month in residual income. Now, Nano, why that goal? I'm sure you guys are wondering, well, Nano, why that goal? Well, that's the one goal that'll help me accomplish every other goal that I'm working towards. Everything from what I want to do for my family, to the car I want to drive, to the businesses I want to invest into, the houses I want to buy, everything is all included in there. The tithing I want to do for the churches and the money I want to give back, everything is in that one big goal, which is my dream goal. I know at $100,000 a month, I'll be able to accomplish all my other smaller goals, which I also want to accomplish as well. So one of the things that my mentor always said to me, he said, is create the ideal picture. Create the ideal picture. You see, this morning I was listening to Kevin Trudeau, and he talked about how all the individuals that are, that we look up to today, or that we are inspired by, yes, yes, your C-type goal, your dream goal is your C-type goal for sure. That all the individuals once created the ideal picture. He used the guy who created Disney as an example, right? He said Walt Disney, when he was broke, all right, he was somebody that he sat down, and there's a story about him how he basically closed all the doors in his house, closed all the windows. He literally isolated himself, and he started to sketch out what Disneyland and Disney World would look like, from the rides to the families walking around, to the food, the concession, everything. He sat down and he basically created the ideal picture of what his life will look like 30 years from that specific moment, right? He talked about Jeff Bezos, how he created an ideal picture of what he wanted Amazon to be like in the future. He talked about Mark Zuckerberg, how he started with just Facebook in a dorm room, and then he grew it to be one of the biggest social networks and apps in the whole entire world. Tesla with Elon Musk, all these things, it all started with an ideal picture. So my question to all of you guys is, do you have an ideal picture? Have you actually sat down and created an ideal picture of what your dream life would look like? If failure was not an option, if money was not an issue, what would your ideal dream life look like? That's the question I want you guys to ask yourself on this beautiful Monday morning, August 11th at 10:52 a.m. Eastern Time. You have to sit down and think of that ideal picture. All right. You see, this is very, very, very important. You got to know where you want to live. Where do you want to live in the future? How much money do you want to be making? What car do you want to drive? All right. What does your future wife, future husband look like? What schools do you want your kids to be in? What countries do you want to travel to? What's your credit score? Did you pay off all your taxes? Do you have zero debt? All right. What house did you buy for your friends? I mean, for your mom and dad? You got to sit down and think of this ideal picture of what your dream life will look like. Where are you living? What car are you driving? Like all these things, you got to be able to sit down and really, really visualize it, right? Because when I think of mine, right, I think of my ideal picture. Okay. Let me just show you guys something. I think of my ideal picture. Here we go. So if I can show you guys this, all right, let me show you something. Look, here I am. This is one of the places I want to live, right? So eventually this building will be finished in like 2027, if I'm not mistaken. So in like 2 years, these are going to be the Bentley residences here in Miami, Florida, Sunny Isles, right? So what do? I come look at these things. I've actually visited this location already where they're building it. I used to live right next to it, as a matter of fact, right? And the goal is to have a spot here. Okay, be able to do this, right? Now this is super cool. Now on top of that, I know exactly where I want to live out here in Miami. I know the exact car that I want to drive. All right, this is the car I want as well. I know the exact car I want to drive. Here it is, the Mercedes Maybach. All right, in that same color, maybe different rims would be the ideal thing for me. That's the car that I'm going to be driving up into my house. Now, obviously, that's a 2022 version, but the goal is to get the year version that it is. That's a car that I can drive myself, and that's a car that somebody can also drive me in as well. All right. So these are the kind of things that you have to start identifying. Where do you want to live? Places I want to travel. Obviously, one day I want to be able to visit the Maldives, right? I would love to visit the Maldives. So I think about these places. Another one of the places I want to visit is the Fiji Islands, right? I want to go to Fiji. Okay. So I am clear on these things. All right. Like I know these are the things that I want. This is the clarity on the things that I want. So these are all things that I want in my life. And that's just an example so that I can kind of have an idea. But when I think of my dream life, I think of those things. I think about where I'm going to live. I think about the places I'm going to travel. I think about the money I'm going to, make on a monthly basis. I think about the people I'm going to help, the stages I'm going to impact, the retreats I'm going to be able to do. I think about all of these things because I'm creating an ideal scene of myself, my family, traveling the world, first class everywhere we go, staying at the most expensive resorts and hotels, the Four Seasons, the Ritz Carltons of the world, right? Staying at the Waldorf Astorias of the world, like staying at the absolute best, drinking the best wines, eating the best cuisines, smoking the finest cigars, all right, on yachts all over, the French Riviera. Like I think about these things. I believe these things. I know that these things are for me. Being able to one day invest six figures into a church and help them, build a new building and be a key founder and a bricklayer within the VU church community, right? Like doing amazing things for so many people, right? Showing, giving investing into my health, investing hundreds and thousands of dollars into my health so I can operate at the highest level that my body can ever operate. Like I think about these things, I visualize these things, I write these things down, I spend time looking at pictures of one of these things, right? That is dream life. Guys, you have to dream. Don't let yourself get caught up in your current circumstances and in the things that you're going through and think that those things are not realistic or the people around you, because believe it or not, a lot of us, our dreams are robbed from us as we get older because the people around us tell us to be realistic. They tell us that those things are not possible for people like us. But let me tell you guys, I know people that are just like me, that look just like me and you, that come from all different backgrounds that have been able to accomplish it. And let me tell you another thing. It doesn't matter how young you think you are or how old you think you are. It's possible for every single one of us that's on this call. You can live your dream life. And I want you to start dreaming about it. I want you to start visualizing it. I want you to start speaking it. I want you to start writing about it. Start believing it. You guys don't think about this. Look, guys, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but let me show you guys something really, really fast. Look at this. I created this list on months and basically list of 100 things I want to do before I'm 40. So I'm thinking 10 years ahead. All right. And here I have, and these are the categories I created. I created God, family, health, finances, hobbies, travel, career, relationships, and just because. And I think I've already have more than 100 things. But look, even just with the things with God, look, one of the things, look at the things I want to do before I'm 40, just for God, as an example, right? Read the Bible, read the full Bible, which I haven't. Invest or tithe over $1 million into the church. Start a men's Bible study. Build a phenomenal relationship with Jesus. Host a Christian retreat. Guest speak at Christian events. Visit the most popular churches in the world. Help over 1,000 people get baptized. Be blessed with money so I can bless others. That's just some of the things that I've written down. Okay. So that's, and if I want, and you know what it is, I start adding more things to it as I go, right? Now, if you go look for my family, things I want to do for my family, I want to buy my mom and dad a villa in the Dominican Republic. I want to put 100K in a joint account for them to spend, fly them first class to 10 different countries, buy my dad a car, buy my dad a Rolex, buy my mom nice clothes and jewelry, right? For travel, look, I want to visit over 100 countries. Fill up my passport, visit Greece, visit the Fiji Islands, visit St. Lucia, Tokyo, Japan, all these different places. Look at this. Get a villa at Lake Como. Visit all the national parks in the United States. Visit the 7 wonders of the world. Fly first class all around the world. Do a 7-day luxury cruise. Visit Bali, Mauritius. Become a monk for a quarter. Learn Kung Fu. Visit the south of France. Spend the summer in Europe. Hot air balloons in Turkey. Like, these are all things that I want to do. My hobbies, right? Go to a World Series, visit the NBA Finals, all these things. Visit the top 5 golf courses in the world, skydive over the Swiss Alps. Like, these are all things. Career, earn over $50 million, become a $1 million Hall of Fame. Like, these are all things, right? Like, all things. I even have just because things. Look at the just because list, right? Buy a Hublot, buy a bust down watch, buy a Montclair coat, buy some land and start a farm, buy a rare Tiffany lamp. I don't know if you guys know what Tiffany lamps are. Buy a Picasso painting. I'm huge into Pokemon cards, so I would love to buy rare Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards for anybody that knows about that. Spend $100K on a family vacation. Change a homeless person's life. Join the most prestigious clubs in the world. Buy a Shohei Ohtani Murakami jersey. Buy a Kobe Bryant, a Derek Jeter, a Tom Brady, a Michael Jordan jersey. I'm also gonna add here, buy a Wayne Gretzky jersey, signed jersey, right? So what am I doing here? I'm dreaming, right? I'm dreaming. That's what I'm doing, guys. This is doing. I am dreaming. I want you to understand. Like, I will never tell you guys to do anything that I haven't done. I sit down and I dream about these things, and I think about them, and I think about them. And guess what? If you were to start doing what I'm doing, you will start to like realize, like, damn, there's so much I want to do. And guess what? That's the reason why I have so many random things in there, because I at one point, after I had wrote down like the main things, because once you write down a couple of things, you write down the basics things, the houses, the places you want to travel to, the little things that we all want, right? But once you start writing those things down, you really have to dive deep into your mind to really think about what else you want for your dream life. I thought about a restaurant that I wanted. I want to start, the places I want to travel to, the things I want to buy. Dude, I have buy a 10K bottle of wine. There's so much things here, right? Like, so many things here. Stock portfolio. I want to own 10 Bitcoins. I want a 7-8 figure life insurance policy. I want to have multiple trusts, all taxes paid, over 10 million invested, real estate portfolio. Like, there's so much here, guys. Like, and you know what? I'm adding to it. I want to learn Portuguese. I want to learn Italian. I want to learn how to play the piano. I want to learn how to play the guitar. Like, these are all things that, I want to do. Go to WrestleMania, for my people who watch wrestling growing up. I know it's not the same anymore, but I love to go anyways. Go to all the biggest sporting events, the Masters, the World Cup, the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, the finals. Like, these are all things. What is this part of? This is part of my dream life. My dream life. I am creating. I am putting it out there. And you know what? At one point, I'm going to come back when I'm 40 and I'm going to look at this list. Oh, I did this. I did this. I did this. I did this. I got this. I did that. And it's all going to be checked off. And you know what? The thing is that I'm always adding to the list. So the list doesn't stop. I keep adding. Something will come up. I'll hear something at an event or whatever it is. Okay, let me go add to my list. Yeah, the Pokemon market is crazy at the moment. I know that. But I want them. It brings me back to my childhood. Another thing I loved in my childhood were G-Shocks. I don't know if you guys know about the G-Shock watches. I want a collection of rare G-Shocks. That's a desire of mine. I want a collection of rare wines, right? I want to have one of the most, exclusive wine cellars at my house. Like, that's something that I want.
Like this is so important. And the reason why I do these things is because I always want to be dreaming. I never want to lose my ability to dream. Don't ever lose your ability to dream, guys. Every single thing on that list, if God is willing, those things will be accomplished and with God's will. I want you guys to understand that. But you have to dream. You have to put the energy out there. You have to believe that it's possible. So it's super important that you guys understand that. So you got to dream. So the first thing we got to understand is, what is your dream life? So I want you guys to go into the future and think of your dream life. So that's basically goal number 4, right? So in terms of like, we're going through 4 goals, that's number 4. Now, you want to visualize it too as well. I take time to visualize it as well. Like when I'm visualizing this, I see myself. I was talking to my little brother the other day about it. I'm like, yo, you know what's funny? I visualize it all the time. I see myself handing the keys to my mom and dad for the villa, for the car. I see you there, bro. I see everything that we're doing for them. I see myself, all these different things, guys. Is like, we have to remember that we spend so much time visualizing the past, visualizing what's wrong, visualizing everything but the things that we want. And I can tell you that from experience, because that has been me. I've been caught in seasons where all I would visualize is the past. I would visualize the things that weren't working for me. I would visualize the bad things, the negative things. When I realized that, remember, we are the creators of our reality. So I'm visualizing the past, and I had bad experiences in the past, and that's only going to create more bad experiences in the future. If I'm visualizing the things that I don't want to happen to me, then guess what? Remember, the mind, the subconscious mind, doesn't know what's real or what's imagined. So if I'm visualizing bad things happening to me, then bad things will happen to me. That's how the game works. This is how it's all, orchestrated. So I said, you know what? Instead of me focusing on the past, instead of me focusing on the things that I don't want to happen to me, let me start visualizing the future and the things that I do want to happen for me. Everything I've lived today to this very moment is things that I visualized 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and it's now happening as a reality. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is the dream goal. That's number 1. Number 2, there's a goal called the sweet spot goal. This is the sweet spot. So the second goal, we're going to end up eventually back at the next logical step, but I want to take you guys through it. So the first goal is the dream goal. The second goal is the sweet spot goal. Now, the sweet spot goal is the goal that blends your passion, your skill set, and opportunity. All right. It's a sweet spot where it's like, okay, when I get there, I'll be almost like halfway to my dream. Like I'll be almost there. So like, for example, somebody like me, my sweet spot is that 50K a month area, right? That's a sweet spot for me. That's my example of it. All right. Now, the only reason why I always mention money as the goal, remember, guys, it's not that I'm money hungry. And I want to make that very clear. It's not that I'm money hungry. Is that with the money, it's quantifiable, which means I can measure it. All right. I can measure myself where I'm at based off of how much I'm earning. And remember, you never set the goal for the money that you're going to make, but more for the person that you got to become in order for you to earn that money. Because the money is just a reflection of the person you had to become in order for you to earn that money. So I'm going to make that very clear here. So my sweet spot goal for me is 50,000 a month. Why is that a good sweet spot though? Well, because I've earned in the past, I've had the pleasure of having 25,000, 30, even close to, sometimes I had my biggest month I had at one point, I had close to almost a $40,000 month. So did I do it consistently? No, I didn't do it, but that was my biggest month I ever had, right? So that 50K a month is something that, because I've done the 25, 30, 40-ish months, I know that 50 is something that I can do. It's something, it's achievable. It's in reach. It's reachable, right? It's something that I know I can still go out and accomplish. That's a sweet spot goal. That is a sweet spot goal that is very attainable for me, that I really believe in. All right. So you got to think about what that sweet spot is for you.
What's that, like that halfway point that you got to get to before you get to that dream goal? Because once I get to my sweet spot goal, then I'll be one step away from my dream goal. So you got to think about this stuff. You got to know this stuff. You got to become aware of this stuff. Because, I remember my mentor once told me, he said, if you were to stand on the famous streets of New York City and you were to go one by one to each person and ask them what is their goal, 9 out of 10 people can't even give you a good answer on what their goal is. And the people that do give you their goal, it will be lousy goals. It'll be a lousy goal. And that is the real truth. Most people don't even know what their goals are. If I was to go up to you right now and ask you, what is your goal? Can you give me an answer without thinking about it? Because that's how I was tested. I'm sure you guys have heard this story in the past, but my mentor tested me this way. He said, no, what is your name? I said, my name is Neno. He said, no, but what's your government name? I'm like, my name is Kevin Torres. He said, what is your address? I gave him my address. My address is 555 West, blah, 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 blah. I live in New York. He said, what's the zip code? Boom, gave it to him. He said, what's your mom's name? Gave it to him. What is your dad's name? Gave it to him. What color is your refrigerator at home? Gave it to him. So he asks me all these questions and I'm confused. Questions that I knew the answers to without thinking about it. Boom, boom. What is your shoe size? Boom. Mom's name? Boom. Little brother's name? Boom. All these things he starts asking me and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. And I think I'm crushing it. I'm like, yo, I got this. I got this. I got this. And he says, okay, perfect. I'm glad you know all of that. He says, now, the next question is, what is your goal? And I pause. And I sit there and I'm like, my goal? Obviously I'm trying to buy myself time. So I double confirm the question. When you get asked a question and you're thinking about the answer, so you kind of ask it all over again. You said, my goal, right? He said, you failed. I'm like, what do you mean? I haven't even answered the question. What do you mean? He said, exactly. You failed. You see, somebody that's clear about their goals, they know it like their name. If you were clear about your goals, you would be able to tell me your goal just like you told me your name, the same way you told me your address, the same way you told me your mom's name, your shoe size, your dad's name, the same way you told me everything else that I asked you about, the same way you knew that without thinking about it is the same way you know your goals. So you know what that tells me, Nano? It tells me that you are not clear on what you want. And lack of clarity is never going to allow you to accomplish what you want in life. Because you don't have a clear point B. You don't have a clear direction of where you're going, which means you're waking up every day and you're just going through the motions. There is no clarity. That was a big wake-up moment for me. Why do you think I write my goal down every day? Every single day, because I always think, damn, what if he comes up to me? I'm just, he literally said, you want to literally have that goal implanted in your mind to the point where if I saw you on the random streets of Miami, New York, Dubai, and I were to come up to you and I ask you, hey, Nano, what's your goal? You got to be able to tell me, boom, my goal is I am so happy and grateful now that, bam, 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 bam. You see that? We got to be clear on the things that we want, guys. Goals are so key. So the question is, do you know what your chief aim is? Sorry, not your chief aim, your sweet spot goal is. Your sweet spot goal is a very important goal for you to have, which is the sweet spot goal. Very, very key. Now, the second type of goal is the chief aim now. The chief aim goal is usually what's called the primary to midterm goal that you're actively working towards, that you're going to accomplish probably within the next 6 to 12 months. That's your chief aim. What do you want to accomplish in the next 6 months? What do you want to? A chief aim would be a goal you want to hit by the end of the year. What's the next goal you want to hit by the end of the year? in your business, in your relationship, in your money, in your finances? What's that chief aim for you? This is important. This is super key. This is super key. What is that chief aim for you? What do you want to accomplish by the end of the year? Are you clear on that? Guys, remember, we want to be clear on our goals. Lack of clarity leads to lack of direction. Lack of direction leads to you getting lost in the sauce. You don't want to be lost in the sauce, because you know what it is? You're going to be a boat that's set in the middle of the ocean with no sail. You have no idea where you're going. You don't want to be that person. I know exactly what I want. I know what my dream life look like. I know what my sweet spot goal looks like. I know what my chief aim looks like. I know what these things look like. I understand them. I have them written down. I see them. I have them pasted in my room. I have them pasted in my book cover. Sorry, I mean my bookmark is an index card with my goals written on it. With my goals written on it. As a matter of fact, the other day, my little brother, I don't know if he's still on this call. I saw him hop on. No, I think he hopped off. But my little brother, it's funny because my little brother has been such a great student. You know, for somebody that doesn't do what I do, he's not an entrepreneur. My little brother actually chose to go the corporate route. And he's a financial planner for big time companies, big time investment companies. And my little brother watched the whole journey, how I did it, how I accomplished it. In the beginning, he didn't believe, but then when he got older, he understood that this is how it works. And still to this day, he is very big on the morning routines. He's huge. He's actually even more crazier and more obsessed than I am with the morning routine, because he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning because he works. So he has to be at work by 8 a.m. So he's up at 4:30 so he can be in the gym by 5 and have at least 2.5 hours to work on himself. So for him, his goal was, I want to get to where I'm earning an extra $100,000 a year. That was his first goal. He got that. He got that goal. He did it. His first job that he got, he was only earning like 40 to 50K a year. He started writing it down. And this was when he was living in North Dakota on the other side of the world. He was writing it down. I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning over $100,000 in my salary each and every single year. He wrote it down. 2 years after living in North Dakota, he ends up getting a job offer, earning 6 figures in Tampa. So he moves from North Dakota to Tampa to now work his 6-figure position. Ever since he started working in this Tampa position, he said, okay, my next goal is to get to $250,000 a year. So he starts writing it down. He's been writing it down to get to the point where he's earning 250K. Guess what? Just the other day, he got somebody to reach out to him that's looking for people in his department with his level of expertise. And if selected, guess what? Guess what the salary was? $250K. So everything that he's writing down, he didn't know how he was going to do it. He's just writing it down. He has clarity on what he wants. I've been trying to explain to you guys how important it is for you to write down your goals. You think that it's annoying. You think that it's corny. You think that it's a burden. But what you don't understand is that every time that you take the pen to paper and you sit down and you write that goal down, day after day, night after night, your mind, there's so many things happening with your mind seeing that goal. There's so many moving parts from your brain to your mind to everything that happens for you to be able to get the things that you want. Guys, I don't think you guys understand how powerful that is. The neural pathways, over 10,000 plus neural pathways are involved in this process of you taking a pen, taking a blue pen, blue ink, and writing it down every day. Something so simple that we can all do, and so many of us don't do it. Grabbing a pen and a paper, and every day
I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning blank amount of money a month. Thank you, God, it is done. Write it down, see it, get clear on it. Because remember, you got to get to the point where it is unconscious, competent, where it's second nature, where you've seen it so many times, you visualized it so many times, you spoke it so many times, you wrote it down so many times to the point where it happened. Where it happened. I wish I can show you guys the notebooks and the journals that I have at my house in New York City, where I wrote down everything that I have accomplished today. I wrote it down to the places that I'm living, everything, everything, everything. But you got to write it down, guys. You got to write it down. I never knew how I was going to do any of it. I didn't know how I was going to get to all this money. I still don't know how I'm going to get to $100,000 a month. But if you're writing it down for some beautiful reason, God has a way to open the doors for you, to put you in front of the right people, to put you in the proper circumstances in order for all of it to happen. He has a way, but you have to do the little work. If you can't write your goal down, you're not going to get what you want. I'm telling you right now. If you still to this day don't take the time on a day-to-day basis to sit down for 2 minutes and take time to sit down and be like, you know what? Let me write my goal down a couple of times. That's a big problem. It's a huge problem. Because if you can't do the small things, you can't do the big things. It's not going to happen. You gotta do the little things. Little things like writing your goals down, it goes such a long way. I promise you. I've been practicing this for years. And I'm telling you, when I get to the 100,000 a month, I'm gonna tell people, yo, I just did the same thing every single day for years at a time, and I just changed the goal as I went up. Because that's the truth. I've been doing the same exact thing for the last 5-6 years. Just changing the goal as I go and going through the challenges and everything else. But you gotta stay on it. So the third thing you gotta focus on is achieve fame. Now, the most important thing is number 4, which is what we started the call talking about, which is your next logical step. What is the next logical step that you got to take in order for you to reach that big goal? I already know what's the next logical step I got to take in order for me to get to that level. This is so key. I know the next logical step I got to take today. I know what I got to do today in order for me to do that. One of the things that I like to do is I like to do to-do lists at the beginning of the week. I already started my to-do list, working on it. Why? Because I understand the importance of having a list of next logical steps. We got to get clear on these things. We cannot forget to do the work. We cannot forget to get clear. I know we talk a lot about a lot of different topics on this call. But if there's one topic that needs to be made, the top priority is understanding what your goals are. You got to know. You got to know. If you don't know what your goals are, life is going to get hard. Every action I take on a day-to-day basis, from the moment I wake up to the moment I fall asleep, is helping me get one step closer to my goals. Because remember, the journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step. The goals that we want, those goals are 1,000 steps ahead. Those goals are literally 1,000 steps from now.
So the journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step, which is what you're going to do today. I understand how crucial my morning routine is as a next logical step as well. Doing my full morning routine on a day-to-day basis is part of my next logical steps. Why? Because the morning routine is a part of me. It kind of breaks down a lot of different components. It creates, first, number one, my relationship with Jesus Christ, right? With respect to whatever you guys believe in, I focus on building my relationship with God early in the morning, right? I go in the gym as well, getting in the best shape of my life. That's part of my, one of my goals in the future, my dream goal, chief aim type of vibe, right? Getting in the best shape of my life. That's part of my dream goal, being in the best shape of my life, that where, I feel good, I'm strong, I'm there. Like, I'm working towards that, right? One of my dream goals is to read a lot of books. Guess what? I'm reading every morning. I'm journaling every day. I'm visualizing every day. Okay, I'm eating healthy. This morning I had, yesterday I went down the ChatGPT rabbit hole, and I was talking to ChatGPT about how to live like a superhuman and the things that I gotta eat in order for me to live like a superhuman, and the vitamins and the nutrients that I gotta feed my body in order for my body to operate at that highest state. So guess what? ChatGPT gave me exactly what I gotta eat in the morning. It gave me the snacks I gotta eat. It gave me everything, literally everything, to the dinner, to what I got to include, what I got to eliminate. And I'm doing it. I'm doing exactly what ChatGPT told me. Why? Because what you feed your body is going to be your energy for the day. That's why, even though I was up early, I feel on top of the world, because I fed my body good, positive, and high nutrients and superhuman stuff. This is important. Like, this is key. This is so important. Like, for example, look at this is what I had for right after my workout. I workout fasted first off. So I wake up, the first thing I do is I drink room temperature water with lemon and Himalayan pink salt. Himalayan pink salt. Now, why do I do that? Because that's a form of hydration. It hydrates my whole body. I start off the day with that. That is super key. I don't know if you guys know about that, but room temperature. Like, if you wake up and you drink room temperature water and you squeeze a lemon in there with some Himalayan pink salt, that's like a superhuman secret, low key, that a lot of people been doing over the years to kind of wake your body up and hydrate all your muscles, right? So I start with that. Boom. I work out. After my workout, I eat a chia seed pudding, right? Where I basically have chia seeds that I soak overnight, and then I have it with a yogurt. I put my yogurt in there. I put my Greek yogurt in there, which is a protein Greek yogurt. I add granola. I add blueberries. I add honey, and I add peanut butter as well. Everything the best. I don't Have you guys ever heard of the Yuka app? The Yuka app, there's this app that you can scan your food. Everything that I buy everything that I buy for my house, it has to be Yuka app approved. I don't buy anything that is gonna not get me there. Right. So, like, for example, I'm the guy in the stores scanning everything. Nah, this doesn't pass. This doesn't pass. Yes, this passed. This is passing. So nothing in my refrigerator is like everything. Like, everything I use has to pass through the Yuka app. I don't do anything without the Yuka app. Like, yeah, 80 and above, Troy. I might let a 70 pass, but mostly 80 and above. Everything I have on the app is 80 and above. So, like, when I scan my chia seeds, good. I scan my granola, solid. My blueberries, solid. My peanut butter, solid. The honey, everything. So I know that everything that I'm putting in my body is the highest quality. I have a protein shake. I feel good. Even the coffee that I drink is the highest quality. Like, yeah, little do they know, right? So, I'm sitting there, and this is important to me because, remember, I want to operate at the highest version of myself. I want my mind to be clear. I don't want to be, basically in the middle of the day,
passing out because I'm so tired and I'm so exhausted because I have no energy. I want to have the highest levels of energy. My job or my passion requires a lot from me. I spend a lot of calls. I spend a lot of time on calls, talking to people, doing a lot of different things. So these things are very, very, very important to me. I want you guys to start, you know, treating this the exact same way. My breakfast, when I'm done here, now I eat my breakfast slash brunch lunch, where I eat my eggs, turkey bacon, avocado, and a toast with spread on it, with almond butter spread on it. That's usually what I have after this. That's my fuel, and I drink that down with a green juice, 100% green juice. Only the best of the best. Only the best of the best. Why? Because I'm understanding that the best version of Nano operates at this level. So I have to start acting like that now. I can't wait to like get there in order for me to start living like that. I got to start living like that now. I just gotta start living like that now. ChatGPT even gave me the vitamins that I gotta eat, or I mean that I gotta consume throughout the day. The things that I can add to my day-to-day to make me better and operate at the highest level. Guys, I am being very intentional about everything that I'm doing in my life right now. From the things that I eat to the things that I put on my body, everything, absolutely everything, the business, the relationship with God, my relationships, my friends, my content, literally everything. Because remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I don't want you guys just to make more money. I want you to be better healthy. I want you to be better health wise. I want you to be better mentally. I want you to be better psychologically. I want you to be better spiritually. I want you to be better in all areas, guys. This is the key. These are the things that most people won't talk to you about. These are the things that most people will not talk to you about, because the thing is, remember, people are unconscious and incompetent about this. They don't know better, so they can't do better. They don't know better, so they can't do better. So I'm here to introduce you guys to this life. But I have to be the example first. I'm not saying that I'm a nutritionist and I'm an expert at this, because I'm not. But I can tell you guys, I eat a lot better than a lot of people. Why? Because guess what? It's one of those things that I got to make sure of in order for me to be the example. Got to be careful with turkey. It's low vibration. Yeah, it's kind of like in the halfway, half there. But there's definitely healthier options. I agree. But this is the good thing about life, though. Like, we have to make sure that we're working towards this every day. And these are goals. Like I said, what's the next logical step? What's your chief aim? What's the sweet spot? What's the dream goal? So those are the 4 goals that you need to learn. Number 1 is your next logical step. Well, first, let's start from the top. Is you need to understand what your dream goal is. You got to understand what the sweet spot is. Number 2, you got to understand what the chief aim is. Number 3, and then number 4, you got to understand what the next logical step is. Put a 4 in the chat box if this made sense and if this was clear for everybody. Because right now, I'm at a very high level of conscious competence. That's where I'm at right now, where I'm learning, but I'm applying. I'm learning about my health and I'm applying. I'm learning about the water. I'm learning about, building my relationship with God, and I'm applying. I'm learning about my morning routine. I'm applying. I'm learning about my business and I'm applying. I'm learning about my physical health and I'm applying. Like, everything I'm learning, I'm applying right now. I'm not in a state of learning and not applying. I'm in a state right now of where everything I'm learning, I'm applying. Applying. Everything. That's where I'm at. I'm at a very high level of conscious competence, because I know when I stay at this level long enough, all the things that I'm now doing, now that I got to think, these things are going to become second nature. So waking up early is going to be second nature. Getting to the gym is second nature. Eating healthy is going to be second nature. All right. All these things is going to become second nature because I did it repeatedly over a long period of time. So it's going to become automatic. You want to get to that point with your life. All right, guys. So
With that being said, that is everything that I wanted to share on today's call. I hope you guys learned a lot from this call, not just from the training itself, but from all the other things that I talked about that are so important. I feel so good right now. My body, my energy, everything is just vibrating at its highest level at this very moment. I haven't felt this good in a very, very long time. But you know what it is that I'm putting in the work. I am consciously every day getting uncomfortable and making myself more aware of everything that's happening around me, about my thoughts, about just everything. And it just feels incredible. And guess what? Because that's the reality, it's just like everything I'm touching is turning to gold. Every door is opening. Everybody I'm meant to meet is being put in my path. And that's how God works. And you guys have the same opportunity. So with that being said, guys, that wraps up today's call. I pray you guys have a beautiful rest of the day and a beautiful rest of your weeks. I'm going to do a little prayer for us, and we'll end there right there. So a quick prayer, and let's pray. Father God, we want to say thank you so much for waking us up on this beautiful, abundant Monday. Today's energy is through the roof, and we all feel so blessed and so grateful to be able to start our week with this kind of energy. We know that this week is going to be filled with breakthroughs, is going to be filled with productivity and your abundance, God. And we just want to say ahead of time, thank you, thank you, thank you. We've been doing the work. We've been leading by example. We've been putting you first. We've been laying brick by brick for the kingdom. And we're just grateful to be on this path, Father. Today, we don't really want to ask for anything. We just want to say thank you for waking us up, and thank you for being there for us. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for washing us clean of all the sins and anything that isn't serving us right now. And we're just grateful that we get a chance to wake up and serve our purpose, Father. So we're here to build the kingdom. Let's go out there and have a great, productive week. We love you and we appreciate you. And in God's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. Who feels good today, guys? Who feels good? Because I feel good. I hope I'm transferring this energy into you and you're like, yo, I want to be vibrating at Nano's vibration. I accept Nano's vibration. I need that energy because I'm ready now. That's it. After this call, I'm going to go work for the next 12 hours. Nah, I got to be in bed by 11. So I got to go work for literally the next 12 to 10 to 11 hours. Now it's just work, right? Because I could do all the morning routines and read all the books and do everything. But if I'm not doing the work, it doesn't matter. All right, guys. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Last thing I'm going to say is this. If you're on this call, I know we've had a few people that have been interested in joining Alpha Society. Today is the last day of the summer promo where you'll be able to get $50 off the package price if you want to join Alpha Society. So if you're interested in joining Alpha Society, DM me Alpha so that you can get the Alpha promo link, because I don't think there's going to be any more promos this summer. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want to learn more about, send me a DM saying Alpha, and I could get you plugged in and get you all the information you need so you can take advantage of the promo. All right. I know a couple of you guys have reached out to me in the past, but today is the last day to join the summer promo. So take advantage of it. You're not going to get it for a better price than what you're going to get it here. So I love y'all. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next call tomorrow. God bless. And let's have a productive day. DM me Alpha and let's get to work, fam. God bless you guys. Thank you, fam.